Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so this morning I would like to discuss Zombi's absolutely massive sounding third album, and that is Spirit Animal. Now this comes fresh off the heels of Surface to Air and Cosmos. Fresh off the heels, no it doesn't. And this record couldn't be more of a musical departure from where the sound on Cosmos and Surface to Air was having us believe Zombie was leading us into. It's almost like one of the guys in the band was like, yo, check it out. Last night I watched this movie called Suspiria, and the fucking score to that movie was done by this band called Goblin. I'm serious, that's what this is like. Because it's like the sound is so revelatory. Like there's such an immense amount of growth. Like, they were total like digital synth guys on Surface to Air, and then it's like, boom, they're these master multi-instrumentalist sort of Vangelis kind of goblin types on Spirit Animal. And I knew that they always had that in them, and I'm not knocking their earlier works. It's just that this record, it feels so 1975. It's like, I don't know, man, it's like they were totally influenced by Vangelis's Heaven and Hell and like Albedo, as well as sort of, like I said, Goblin's work for movies like Suspiria. And at the same time, they're not sort of stealing anything from either Vangelis or Goblin. They're completely sort of blazing their own trail here, and they're doing their own thing. But it's just so good, and it's so awesome that I love it when I can recognize like Vangelis and other people's music, because I've loved him since I was a kid, and I've loved Suspiria since I was a kid. So it's almost like this record is sort of the perfect marriage of sight and sound, because when I'm listening to it, I'm picturing Vangelis, but at the same time, I'm seeing scenes from Suspiria. And I really like the sort of duality to that, because the one doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other, because Vangelis wasn't exactly like a horror score guy at all. But that's what I think of, and I absolutely love the cover art too. The cover art for this is, again, so honestly mid-1970s. And God, the guys in this band are just so talented. And this record is so endlessly listenable. I mean, what's on here that I love? Spirit Animal, of course, Earthly Powers, Cosmic Powers. I mean, this record isn't the type of album that I like to pull apart. I like to listen to this from start to finish, from A to Z, and that just seems to fit the best for me, because it's like each rhythm builds so naturally, and each song sort of just shows up so honestly, and everything, it just happens in such a sort of like a fundamentally progressive sense that I don't want to separate that. It's like pulling apart kids when they're, going to be adopted or some shit, like, living in a foster home, and a brother and sister are going to be pulled apart. I don't think it's right to pull these songs off this album as a whole. Wow, that went completely off the rails. Yeah, look, I gotta go home and go to bed. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I attempted to discuss and say something relatively intelligent about Zombie's absolutely fucking killer third album, and that is Spirit Animal. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But please, most importantly, don't forget that the world is a better place because you are in it. And I'm gonna go to bed. Have a good morning.